Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our show. You know we love diving deep into topics and books that you suggest.
It's true. We're always excited to explore new ideas and share those valuable insights with all of you.
Well, today we're tackling a concept that I think resonates deeply with a lot of our listeners: mastery.
And we've got a fantastic guide for this exploration. Robert Greene's book, Mastery.
This deep dive is for anyone who's ever felt that pull towards excellence.
The desire to truly understand something deeply, whether it's a specific skill, a field of knowledge, or even just a better understanding of yourself.
We aim to distill the essence of Greene's work.
Give you those actionable takeaways without overwhelming you with all the details.
So think of this as your shortcut to understanding the journey of mastery,
We'll uncover those essential stages, from pinpointing your core purpose
to honing your social intelligence,
unlocking your creative potential.
and ultimately reaching that fascinating fusion of intuition and rational thought that really defines true mastery.
Sounds like a plan.
So the book starts strong.
It kicks off with this idea of the life's task.
Okay, so what's the core insight there?
Green suggests that each of us, we all have this inherent inclination.
Like a natural tendency towards certain things?
Exactly. It's like an internal compass guiding us toward our life's task.
Essentially what we're meant to do, what we're meant to contribute to the world.
Precisely. And what's so interesting is that the first step to mastery isn't about, immediately diving into skill acquisition.
It's not about signing up for that online course or anything like that.
Not yet. It's about self-discovery first.
Really understanding yourself before anything else.
Yes. Reconnecting with that intrinsic drive that we all have within us.
So it's like figuring out what makes you tick, what truly motivates and excites you.
Exactly. Green even compares it to, like, forcing a plant to grow in soil that doesn't suit it.
Oh, I like that analogy. If you ignore your life's task, it's like you're trying to flourish in an environment that just isn't right for you.
Precisely. And that's where the importance of self-awareness comes in. Knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions.
All of that. And this isn't just some abstract concept. It really had practical implications.
Yeah, like when you're aligned with your life's task, things just seem to fall into place.
You feel more fulfilled, more engaged,
It impacts your career choices, your relationships, your overall well-being.
everything.
And what I found so encouraging about the book is Greene's emphasis on the fact that it's never too late to start this process of introspection.
Right. No matter where you are in life, you can always take a step back and reevaluate your path.
It's about being open to discovering new aspects of yourself, even if you think you've got it all figured out.
Absolutely. And Greene provides some really compelling examples to illustrate this.
Like real-life stories of people who found their life's tasks.
Exactly. Take Charles Darwin, for instance. His father envisioned him as a doctor or a clergyman, a very respectable path back then.
Yeah, very traditional. But Darwin had this almost obsessive fascination with the natural world from a young age. He loved collecting biological specimens, exploring the outdoors. It was more than just a hobby.
It was a deep, undeniable pull towards something he was truly passionate about.
And eventually, that led him to his groundbreaking work in evolutionary biology.
Completely revolutionized our understanding of the natural world.
And another great example is Leonardo da Vinci.
Da Vinci, he was a true Renaissance man. Painter, sculptor, inventor, scientist, the list goes on.
Exactly. And Greene argues that this incredible diversity of talents wasn't just random brilliance.
It was a result of Da Vinci consistently following his varied interests.
He had this insatiable curiosity, and he explored every avenue that sparked his interest.
And what's even more fascinating is that he took the projects he did for others, commissioned works, and infused them with his own unique vision.
He wasn't just fulfilling a task, he was always innovating and pushing boundaries.
So he was always learning and evolving no matter what he was working on.
Exactly. And, stepping back for a moment, this initial self-awareness, it's really the foundation for everything else.
Like, without understanding your own inclinations, you risk getting sidetracked.
Absolutely. You might end up chasing external rewards, things like money or fame, but those can be fleeting.
They might bring temporary satisfaction, but ultimately, if you're not aligned with your life's task, you might end up feeling unfulfilled.
Exactly. And that's a point that Greene really delves into later in the book.
Okay, so let's say our listener has started to connect with their inner compass. They're getting a clearer picture of their life's task. What's next on this journey towards mastery?
The next phase, according to Greene, is what he calls the apprenticeship phase.
Apprenticeship. That makes me think of, like, medieval guilds and blacksmiths.
Uh-huh. I know, right? But Greene reframes it entirely. He says it's not about those external rewards like a fancy title or a big paycheck.
So it's not about instant gratification.
No, it's about something much deeper. It's about a profound internal transformation.
A transformation of your mind and character.
Precisely. Think of it like forging steel. It's a process that requires time, dedication, and even some discomfort.
So it's about building a strong foundation, developing resilience and discipline.
Exactly. And Greene says this phase is crucial because when you enter a new field, you're essentially an outsider.
You might have some preconceived notions or idealized views about how things work.
Exactly. And the goal of the apprenticeship is to ground you in reality.
To get your hands dirty and learn the practicalities of your chosen domain.
Yes. And to learn how to work effectively with others and handle criticism constructively.
That sounds essential for any field, really.
Absolutely. It's about cultivating discipline, focus, and the ability to tackle complex challenges.
The hallmarks of a master, right?
Obviously. And the key principle here is to focus on internal growth, not on immediate external validation.
So it's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And the book breaks this apprenticeship phase down into 3 key steps.
Okay, let's dive into those. What's the first step?
The first step is deep observation.
Deep observation. What does that involve?
Well, Greene compares it to being an anthropologist immersed in a new culture.
So you're studying the customs, the rituals, the way people interact.
Exactly. You're observing with intense focus, paying attention to the nuances, the unspoken conventions of your field.
The things that people might not explicitly teach you, but are essential to understanding how things really work.
Exactly. And the crucial point is that every task, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, offers an opportunity for deep observation.
Like, even if you're just making coffee or filing paperwork, there's something to be learned from observing the process and the people involved.
Precisely. The book actually uses Benjamin Franklin's time in the printing shop as a great example.
Oh, right. He wasn't just learning to set type. He was carefully observing his manager, Keimer.
Learning from his successes and failures, understanding his personality, and the overall dynamics of the workplace.
It's about seeing beneath the surface, right?
Right.
Not just taking things at face value.
Exactly. And this keen observation naturally leads to the second step. Skills acquisition.
So now you're actively learning the practical skills of your trade.
Precisely. And a key aspect here is the role of mentors.
Finding someone experienced and knowledgeable to guide you.
Exactly. Greene argues that a good mentor can provide tailored guidance and insights that you just can't get from books alone.
They can offer personalized feedback, share their own experiences, and help you navigate the challenges of your field.
Precisely. The book highlights several inspiring examples, like Michael Faraday's apprenticeship under Humphrey Davy at the Royal Institution.
Faraday was a brilliant scientist. He made groundbreaking discoveries in electromagnetism and electrochemistry.
And it all started with his intense dedication to learning. He was constantly experimenting, taking meticulous notes, and actively engaging with the knowledge he was acquiring.
And then there's Ramachandran, who found his mentor in Richard Gregory, an unconventional but inspiring figure.
Gregory's unique approach to thinking and problem-solving deeply resonated with Ramachandran, and he had a profound impact on his development as a scientist.
It really underscores the importance of finding a mentor whose style and approach align with your own.
Absolutely. But Greene also cautions against false mentors, those who might hinder your progress, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
So it's important to be discerning when choosing a mentor and to be aware of the potential pitfalls.
Exactly. And finally, the third step in the apprenticeship phase is experimentation.
This is where you put all that learning into practice, right?
Precisely. It's about moving beyond passive learning and actively testing and refining your skills.
So you're trying things out, making mistakes, and learning from those experiences.
Exactly. And Greene describes this as a kind of accelerated learning cycle.
What does it mean?
Well, as you acquire skills, you naturally start to experiment with different approaches, introducing variations and seeing what works best.
So you're not just following a set formula, you're exploring and innovating.
Precisely. And as certain tasks become more automatic, your mental bandwidth frees up to tackle more challenging aspects.
So it's a continuous process of pushing your boundaries and expanding your capabilities.
Exactly. And this ultimately leads to greater skill and, surprisingly, a deeper sense of satisfaction and enjoyment.
Because you're not just going through the motions, you're actively engaged and growing.
Precisely. And this is how you start to develop that flow state, that feeling of being completely absorbed in what you're doing.
That sounds amazing, like being in the zone, totally focused and energized.
Exactly. And this is where you start to develop tacit knowledge, that kind of intuitive understanding that can't be easily explained or taught.
It's like you just know what to do without having to think about it consciously.
Precisely. And the book provides some really compelling examples to illustrate this.
Like who?
Well, there's Bill Bradley, the legendary basketball player. He had this incredible dedication to practice and constantly experimented with different techniques to improve his game.
He was known for his rigorous training regime, right?
Exactly. He was relentless in his pursuit of mastery, always pushing himself to get better.
And then there's Henry Ford, who was absolutely obsessed with the gas-powered engine.
He spent years tinkering and experimenting, learning from each failure until he finally developed the automobile.
His persistence and hands-on approach really paid off, revolutionized transportation forever.
Exactly. And for our listeners, this apprenticeship phase is really a blueprint for approaching any new endeavor.
It's a reminder that true mastery isn't about shortcuts or quick fixes. It's built through deliberate and often demanding foundational work.
Absolutely. It's a process of deep observation, active learning, and constant experimentation.
So you've gone through this intensive apprenticeship phase. You're building those core competencies. But as the book points out, mastery isn't just about technical expertise, is it?
It's not. There's this crucial dimension of developing social intelligence.
Social intelligence. So it's not enough to just be good at what you do. You also need to understand how to navigate the social world.
Exactly. Greene argues that a deep understanding of human nature and social dynamics is absolutely vital for achieving mastery.
Because in any field, you're going to be interacting with people, right? Whether it's colleagues, clients, mentors, or collaborators.
Precisely. And he introduces this concept of the naive perspective, which can often lead to emotional reactions and cloud our judgment in social situations.
So we can't just assume everyone sees the world the same way we do or has the same motivations.
Exactly. And that's where social intelligence comes in.
So how do we cultivate this social intelligence? What strategies does Greene offer?
Well, the first strategy is to see people as they are.
What does that mean exactly?
It means recognizing that individuals, at their core, are often driven by self-interest, even if they present a different facade.
So it's about understanding their true motivations, which might not always be obvious.
Precisely. And Greene stresses the importance of paying attention to actions rather than just words.
Because actions speak louder than words, right?
Exactly. Especially when people are under pressure, that's when their true colors tend to show.
So it's about observing their behavior in different situations to get a better understanding of who they really are.
Precisely. The book uses Benjamin Franklin's insightful understanding of Isaac Norris as a great example.
Oh, right. Franklin realized that Norris was deeply insecure, despite his outward appearance of confidence.
And he used that knowledge to his advantage, leveraging Norris's prized book collection to influence him.
It wasn't about manipulation, but about understanding what truly motivated Norris.
Exactly. And the book also cautions against the common trap of projecting our own idealized or negative qualities onto others.
Like assuming someone is either a saint or a villain, based on our own limited perspective.
Precisely. Our emotional needs can distort our perceptions of others, and that can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts.
So it's important to be aware of our own biases and to approach social interactions with a more objective mindset.
Absolutely. The second strategy for cultivating social intelligence is to master the art of interpretation.
So it's not just about observing actions, it's about understanding what those actions mean.
Exactly. It's about developing the ability to read those often subtle nonverbal cues and to understand the underlying emotions that people might be hiding.
Like being able to tell if someone's feeling anxious or upset, even if they're trying to appear calm and collected.
Precisely. Greene suggests combining this intuitive reading with a conscious analysis of their actions and decisions.
So you're using both your gut feeling and your logical reasoning to get a more complete picture.
Exactly. It's like becoming a detective of human behavior, learning to decipher the unspoken language of interactions.
That sounds fascinating. Like you're developing a superpower.
Haha. In a way, it is. And the third strategy Greene outlines is to develop subtlety.
Subtlety. What does that mean in the context of social interactions?
Well, he advises against being overly critical or fiercely individualistic, especially early in your career.
So it's about learning to play the game, understanding the social norms and expectations of your field.
Exactly. You need to understand the rules before you can break them effectively.
Because if you come in guns blazing, challenging everything and everyone, you might alienate potential allies and hinder your own progress.
Precisely. Rigidity and an excessive focus on your own ego can be major obstacles to social navigation.
So it's about being adaptable, learning to read the room, and understanding the power dynamics at play.
Exactly. And the final strategy for cultivating social intelligence is to create a feedback loop.
Feedback loop, what does that involve?
Well, it's about actively seeking objective self-assessment by analyzing past negative social interactions.
So you're reflecting on situations where things didn't go so well and trying to understand your own role in those outcomes.
Precisely. And Greene suggests seeking feedback from trusted individuals who can offer a more impartial perspective.
Because sometimes it's hard to see our own blind spots, right? We need someone else to point them out to us.
Exactly. The book mentions Temple Grandin's approach to analyzing her social interactions, which is fascinating.
Temple Grandin, she's an incredible advocate for autism awareness and animal welfare.
And she's also a great example of someone who uses a scientific, detached mindset to understand social dynamics.
So she's not just relying on her emotions or intuition, she's actively analyzing and learning from her experiences.
Precisely. And that's what creating a feedback loop is all about.
It sounds like developing social intelligence is really about moving beyond our own subjective viewpoint and understanding the complex web of human motivations and interactions.
Absolutely. It's not just a soft skill. It's a fundamental component of achieving mastery in any field that involves working with others.
Because your ability to navigate those social currents effectively will ultimately impact your capacity to collaborate, lead, and bring your vision to life.
Exactly. It's an essential skill for anyone who wants to make a real impact in the world.
Okay, so we've explored the crucial foundations: self-discovery, the rigorous apprenticeship, and the vital element of social intelligence. Now, let's delve into what sounds like a particularly exciting phase: awakening creative intelligence.
This is where things get really interesting. Greene distinguishes between the conventional mind and the dimensional mind.
Okay, break that down for us. What's the difference?
Well, the conventional mind tends to be more passive. It absorbs information and knowledge, but often reproduces it in familiar, unoriginal ways.
So it's like following a recipe. You get a predictable outcome, but nothing truly new or innovative.
Exactly. But the dimensional mind, on the other hand, is active and transformative.
It takes in information, but then processes it, connects it in novel ways, and generates something entirely new.
Precisely. And Greene suggests that retaining that childlike sense of wonder and unbridled curiosity is key to unlocking this creative intelligence.
That's interesting, because as we grow older, we tend to lose that sense of awe and wonder. We become more set in our ways.
It's true. And Greene acknowledges that it's difficult to pinpoint exactly why some individuals who achieve mastery manage to hold on to this childlike spirit while simultaneously accumulating vast amounts of knowledge.
So there's no magic formula, but it seems like maintaining that sense of curiosity and openness to new experiences is essential.
Absolutely. And Greene outlines several key aspects of this creative awakening.
Okay, let's explore those. What's the first one?
The first aspect is returning to your origins.
Returning to your origins. What does that entail?
It's about consciously reconnecting with those primal inclinations, those deep-seated interests, and powerful visceral reactions that you experienced in your early years.
So it's like going back to your childhood, remembering what fascinated you, what made you excited and engaged.
Exactly. Greene encourages you to reflect on activities you never tired of, subjects that ignited an insatiable curiosity, or those moments where you felt a unique sense of power or engagement.
Because those early experiences can offer valuable clues about your true creative inclinations.
Precisely. It's not about inventing something entirely new, but rather about rediscovering and reigniting what has perhaps been dormant or overlooked.
The book gives the example of Christina L.H. Fernandez, who initially studied soft materials but ultimately found her true calling working with the resistant properties of steel.
That's a great example. It highlights how our creative passions can sometimes surprise us, leading us down unexpected paths.
It's about being open to exploring different avenues and trusting your gut instincts.
Absolutely. And the second crucial aspect of awakening creative intelligence is the power of negative capabilities.
Negative capabilities. That sounds intriguing. What does that even mean?
It's a fascinating concept. It's about deliberately embracing ambiguity, paradox, and uncertainty, and resisting the human tendency to jump to premature conclusions or seek simplistic, immediate answers.
So it's about being comfortable with not knowing everything, with sitting with uncertainty and allowing ideas to gestate.
Exactly. Charles Darwin's years of pondering the seemingly contradictory anomalies he observed during his travels before finally arriving at his theory of evolution is a perfect example.
He didn't rush to explain everything away. He allowed himself to be puzzled, to question his assumptions, and that ultimately led to a groundbreaking scientific breakthrough.
Precisely. And the book also highlights the importance of noticing what's absent, those negative cues that can often be just as revealing as what's present.
Like Sherlock Holmes famously realizing that the dog didn't bark in the night, which was a crucial clue in solving the mystery.
Exactly. It's about paying attention to the things that are missing, the gaps in the information, which can sometimes offer the most valuable insights.
So it's about being observant, curious, and willing to challenge your own assumptions.
Absolutely. And the final key step in this creative awakening is the creative breakthrough.
The moment when everything falls into place, right? The aha moment.
Well, Greene describes it not as a sudden flash of inspiration, but as a process.
So there's more to it than just waiting for the muse to strike.
Exactly. It usually starts with an initial intuitive hunch or insight, followed by intense, focused work.
So you get an idea, and then you start working on it, developing it, refining it.
Precisely. And through that process, you inevitably encounter flaws, difficulties, and unexpected obstacles.
But it's through grappling with those challenges that the genuine breakthrough often occurs.
Exactly. It's the tension, the struggle that forces you to think outside the box and come up with creative solutions.
So it's not always easy or straightforward, but it's in those moments of difficulty that true creativity can emerge.
Absolutely. And Greene emphasizes the importance of actively combating complacency, that downhill slide that can happen once you achieve some success.
It's easy to get comfortable, to rest on your laurels, and stop pushing yourself creatively.
It's true. So Greene stresses the need to constantly nurture that childlike wonder, to keep questioning assumptions, and to embrace a certain degree of intellectual boldness and even rebellion against conventional thinking.
So you always need to be challenging yourself, exploring new ideas, and pushing the boundaries of your field.
Precisely. And he also cautions against the pitfalls of grandiosity and becoming overly focused on external praise rather than the intrinsic satisfaction of the work itself.
It's easy to get caught up in the accolades and awards, but true creativity comes from a place of genuine passion and curiosity.
Exactly. And the creative process also demands a high degree of flexibility, being willing to adapt your approach as you go along.
It's not always a linear path. There will be twists and turns, and you need to be able to adjust accordingly.
Precisely. And the book introduces some really intriguing ideas here, like starting with a fact of great yield.
A fact of great yield, what's that?
It's about focusing on those small, intriguing anomalies that capture your attention, rather than trying to tackle overly broad goals from the outset.
So it's about starting small, following your curiosity, and seeing where it leads you.
Exactly. And he also emphasizes the immense value of a hands-on approach, much like the Wright brothers, who learned by building and flying their early machines.
It's about getting your hands dirty, experimenting, and learning through direct experience.
Precisely. And finally, he underscores the importance of embracing slowness, allowing creative projects to gestate and develop organically over time.
So it's about being patient, not rushing the process, and trusting that the best ideas will emerge in their own time.
Exactly. Time itself can be a crucial ally in the creative process.
These are all vital elements in cultivating that dimensional mind, that active, generative force within you.
It's about fostering a mindset that is perpetually curious, willing to wrestle with uncertainty, and deeply engaged in the messy but ultimately rewarding process of creation.
So we've covered the initial spark of your life's task, the disciplined journey of apprenticeship, and the crucial development of social and creative intelligence. Now let's talk about that final stage, the culmination of all this, fusing the intuitive with the rational to achieve true mastery,
This is where everything comes together.
where all the pieces fall into place.
Exactly. Greene argues that mastery is achieved through years of deep, immersive engagement in a chosen field.
So it's about putting in the time, the dedication, and the consistent effort.
Precisely. And it's about staying true to your fundamental inclinations, those things that truly motivate and inspire you.
So you're not just going through the motions, you're fully invested in what you're doing.
Exactly. And this prolonged immersion cultivates an internalized, almost subconscious understanding of your field.
It's like you develop a feel for it and an intuition that guides your decisions and actions.
Precisely. And when you consciously integrate this deep intuition with rational, analytical thought processes, you unlock the full potential of your mind.
So it's not just about being intuitive or just about being logical. It's about combining those two approaches.
Exactly. It's about using both sides of your brain, the creative and the analytical, to achieve a higher level of understanding.
The book even draws a fascinating parallel to the instincts of animals, combined with the higher-level cognitive abilities of human consciousness.
It's like you're tapping into both your primal instincts and your rational mind, creating a powerful synergy.
And Green points out that the brain itself undergoes a kind of transformation after extensive dedicated practice.
Often estimated around 20,000 hours and beyond. You're forging new neural pathways, creating new connections that allow for sudden, seemingly inexplicable leaps in understanding.
It's like your brain is rewiring itself to operate at a higher level.
Precisely. And the book uses the example of Marcel Proust, whose years of seemingly wasted time were actually a profound immersion in observation and reflection.
Proust, the author of In Search of Lost Time, that massive multi-volume novel.
The very same. And all that time he spent seemingly doing nothing was actually crucial to his development as a writer.
It allowed him to cultivate that deep, intuitive understanding of human nature and memory that informed his masterpiece.
Exactly. And the book also touches on the historical ideal of the universal man, someone like Da Vinci who possessed interconnected knowledge across a vast range of disciplines.
The Renaissance ideal of a well-rounded individual skilled in both the arts and sciences.
Precisely. And Greene suggests that we might be seeing a modern resurgence of this kind of interconnected thinking.
With increasing cross-pollination between scientific fields and a greater appreciation for understanding complex, interconnected systems.
Exactly. It's about moving away from hyper-specialization and embracing a more holistic approach to knowledge.
So it's not just about being an expert in one narrow area, it's about understanding how different areas connect and influence each other.
Precisely. And Greene suggests that achieving mastery is a journey that moves through distinct phases.
Like the stages of a butterfly's metamorphosis.
That's a great analogy. He says it starts with learning the distinct elements of a field during the apprenticeship phase.
Like learning the alphabet before you can write a novel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you move on to actively experimenting with and manipulating those elements in the creative active phase.
So you're playing with the building blocks, trying different combinations, and seeing what emerges.
Precisely. And finally, in the state of mastery, you intuitively grasp the underlying unity and embrace the inherent complexities.
It's like you see the whole picture, the interconnectedness of all the parts, and you can navigate that complexity with ease.
Exactly. And the book also emphasizes the importance of understanding and embracing your own unique ways of thinking and learning.
So it's about recognizing your strengths and playing to them, even if they might seem unconventional.
Precisely. Temple Grandin's remarkable ability for visual thinking and her deep empathy for animals are great examples of this.
She's proof that thinking differently can be a superpower, a source of unique insight and creativity.
Absolutely. And Leonardo da Vinci's incredibly meticulous and wide-ranging observational practices formed the foundation of his unparalleled artistic and scientific mastery.
He was constantly observing, sketching, and experimenting, always seeking to understand the world around him in all its complexity.
Exactly. And even Daniel Everett's deep immersion within the Purihan culture to truly understand their language highlights the immense value of that profound inside perspective.
It's about going beyond surface-level understanding and truly immersing yourself in your subject matter.
Precisely. And Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's lifelong dedication to channeling his inner drive, his demon, across an astonishingly diverse range of fields, truly embodies that lifelong commitment to the path of exploration and mastery.
He never stopped learning, growing, and expanding his horizons, a true inspiration.
Absolutely. Ultimately, mastery is about that seamless integration of deeply ingrained intuitive understanding with conscious, rational thought, allowing you to navigate the complexities of your chosen domain with a truly unique and powerful perspective.
It's about becoming a true master of your craft, whatever that craft may be.
Exactly. And the journey to mastery is an ongoing process, a lifelong pursuit of excellence.
So, as you can see, the path to mastery isn't a simple checklist or a quick fix, but a deep and multifaceted journey.
It's a journey of self-discovery, dedicated learning, keen social awareness, and courageous creative exploration.
And the fundamental insight, I believe, is that this journey is within your reach, regardless of where you're starting.
It demands patience, persistent effort, and a willingness to embrace challenges not as obstacles, but as valuable opportunities for growth.
Think about those areas in your own life right now where you feel that undeniable inner pull, that persistent sense of curiosity.
What are those intriguing anomalies that capture your attention? What new insights might you gain by observing the social dynamics around you with a deeper level of awareness?
We encourage you to reflect on these key ideas from Robert Greene's Mastery and consider how they might practically inform your own aspirations and pursuits.
What small but significant first step could you take today to move closer to your own unique expression of mastery?
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the concept of mastery. We hope it has provided you with valuable insights and sparked some aha moments.
We're always grateful for your curiosity and your willingness to explore these profound ideas with us.
And we'd love to hear your own thoughts, any lingering questions you might have about this journey toward mastery. Please do connect with us and share your experiences and reflections.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for mastery in all that you do.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.